Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the absolutely fascinating world of cyberpsychology. And to guide us, we're using a scientific paper that comes from a NATO symposium on cognitive warfare, which, let me tell you, gives this whole topic a very unique and critical edge.
So, let's just jump right in with a question that honestly feels like it's been pulled from a sci-fi movie, but it's something we are all living with every single day. As these super intelligent machines weave themselves into every part of our lives, we really have to ask, who's actually calling the shots here?
And this is the core tension, right? This is the fundamental debate. Are these incredible systems just helpful tools moving us forward, or do they pose a real threat to our autonomy, to our future? While scientists are tackling this head-on in a very specific field of study.
Okay, so let's get into our first section and figure out what this word, cyberpsychology, actually means. I know it sounds a little intimidating, but I promise it's actually pretty straightforward once you break it down.
The name itself is really just a mashup of two huge scientific fields. You've got psychology on one side, the study of the human mind and how we think, and on the other, you have cybernetics, which is all about the science of how machines work, control themselves, and communicate.
So, you put them together, and voila, cyberpsychology. It's the study of what happens right at that intersection. It's the crossroads where human minds and machine systems meet, interact, and this is the important part, fundamentally change each other.
But, to really get a grip on this whole human-machine relationship, we need to ask a really basic scientific question. What's the connection here? How does it actually work? This, right here, is what scientists call the causality problem. It all boils down to this. Is technology the cause that creates an effect on us, or is it the other way around? Is our psychology the cause that shapes the tech we build? Figuring out which way that arrow of influence is pointing is the key to, well, the entire field.
The famous philosopher Karl Popper laid out this really core scientific idea. It's simple, but it's so powerful. Things don't just happen out of nowhere, they're caused by something that came before. And this exact framework of cause and effect is what we need to unpack this whole thing.
So this simple idea gives us an incredible tool. In any experiment, in any relationship, you've got an independent variable, that's the cause, and you've got a dependent variable, that's the effect. To really understand cyberpsychology, we just need to figure out which is which in this human-machine dance.
All right, so first up, let's talk about the one we all feel every single day, how the technology we use is constantly actively shaping our minds and how we behave.
So in this model, which the paper calls psychocybernetics, the cyber system, the tech itself, is the cause. It's the independent variable. And our psychology, the way we think, the way we feel, well, that's the effect. It's the dependent variable that changes because of the technology.
And the effects here are profound. Technology can cause us to make cognitive errors. It can even alter our personalities. Now, it can be a force for good too, right? We see it in training and even in therapy. But there's a dark side, like cyber dependence, which, get this, the World Health Organization now officially calls a disease. The impact is very, very real.
But hold on, it is not a one-way street. We're not just passive sponges soaking up all this tech influence. Our own minds have a massive effect on the digital world that we're building around us. So now, we flip the script. This is what the paper calls cybercognitions. And here, the roles are completely reversed. Our psychology, our creativity, our biases, our fears, that's the independent variable. That's the cause. And the technology we build, that's the dependent variable. It's the effect. And this is so crucial because it means our humanity is literally being coded into our machines. Different programming styles, well, that's just different ways of thinking. The entire field of AI and neural networks is basically one big attempt to copy the human brain. Even our deepest security fears, like that old saying that man is the first flaw, directly shape how we build our cyber defenses.
Okay, now we get to the really wild, cutting-edge part of all this, which is where that clean line between cause and effect just dissolves.
This is the big, mind-bending question for our future. What happens when it's not simply us influencing tech or tech influencing us? What happens when both are influencing each other at the same time in this constant, dynamic, real-time feedback loop? This is where we get into things that sound like science fiction, but they are happening right now. We're talking about concepts like human-machine teaming, where a person and an AI work together as a single unit, or you can take it a step further to human-machine symbiosis, where the line between the human and the machine just blurs.
In that world, simple cause and effect just doesn't apply anymore. So at this point, you're probably asking yourself, okay, this is all fascinating, but why is a defense organization like NATO publishing research on it? What's the real-world stake here?
And the answer is pretty simple. This is not just some philosophical exercise in a lab somewhere. Understanding these dynamics is absolutely critical for everything from the cybersecurity that protects our banks to the actual future of warfare. Being able to navigate this complex dance between human minds and artificial intelligence is a massive priority for global security.
So the big takeaway here isn't just about some far-off future or a distant battlefield. It's happening to you, right now, with the very device you're watching this on. That technology is shaping how you think, how you learn, how you see the world. But at the same time, your choices, your attention, your clicks, they're shaping it right back. The real question is, are you conscious of that power? Are you shaping it on purpose?